Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Trees by the Lake. This is a quick version. The live version will be going up and will be in the members area, but I will be releasing the live version for maybe day or two so that you can get kind of an idea or taste of what the live videos are like. And I think they're, I don't know, if you want to learn about painting and about the struggles I actually go through. I know I had a lot, before I started doing the live stuff, I had a lot of people asking for it. And it was pretty popular before we went members only. So I'm going to do that. So look for that. And if you are watching it and you don't want to join the members area, you better watch all of it. That's all I got to say. Anyway, let's talk about this painting. This is based on a pictorialist photograph. Unfortunately, I really tried. I spent a good 10 minutes trying to find out who the photographer was. Um, I know he's a famous pictorialist. That's all I know. So, and this isn't one from Camera Works. I'm familiar with most of those. So, anyway, it's an awesome composition. I did deviate from the reference a bit in that, and I guess that's maybe one of the things I want to talk about today. And I've talked about everything on this channel repeatedly, but you know, we're getting new subs all the time, so let's get into it. There was in this reference, I had it, you can see I had my little simple M. Francis grid, which just kind of helps to get my bearing, but not every tree in the reference that's in this foreground made it into the painting, and I was a bit frustrated because of that, but when I came back to look at it the next day, it was fine. It was fine. So don't worry too much about sticking exactly to... There's my dog outside. Sticking exactly to the reference. That's not that important. What's important is that the painting looks really good. And sort of on that same thing, in this reference, you can see I've got a line sort of indicating a horizon back there. I didn't really know what I was going to do except for I could see that the photographer was very interested in these trees, their basic composition, and how you look through them into a scene in the back. And in the back there's just some little fluffy clouds and a band of trees, but also some houses and a fence. I kind of liked the houses. I took a quick shot at putting them in and just didn't like them. If maybe it was a little bigger painting, I could have found a little spot for them, but they were distracting. And so I just left them out. And I wasn't absolutely sure how I was going to resolve it. But I just kept going and kept working. Right now you can see we're very much in what I would call the drawing slash underpainting portion of the painting, but since this is such a kind of monochromatic painting, a lot of this is just going to be the actual painting as well. Oh, also I meant to mention this whole painting is pivoting off of Van Dyke Brown big time. In fact, my darkest color is Van Dyke Brown, which has black in it, has bone black in it. They call it bone black. It's another way of saying ivory black. And some other Mars pigments, which is, you know, a permanent pigment that has a earthy sort of feel. I've been really liking Van Dyke Brown. I've been using it a bit, and probably there you see I'm going for those houses. A lot of times in place where I may have used the raw umber. But unlike the raw umber, it has a bit more darkness to it. But it's very much in that same sort of zone or tone. And like raw umber, it's quite transparent as well. Yeah. So the other thing, and we're going to get back into simplification, but the other thing I wanted to mention was that when I did this painting, I wasn't feeling super awesome I was a little under the weather, and that's why I went after a painting of this scale and size. Um, I have a big one I'm working on. Actually, I'm working on that today. This is Saturday, by the way, October 10th to 2020. Um, but I didn't have the energy to do it. But I didn't want to just go, oh, well, I'll just go home and lay down or mess around on the internet or whatever. You know what I mean? Uh, I wanted to get some work done. So I went after this, and one of the reasons I went after this is because it was a pictorialist reference. And one of the hallmarks of pictorialism is that the photos tend to look like paintings. So there's a lot of simplification that's going on already. But getting back to this, where you see the light area right behind the trees from the horizon down, I ended up turning that into a lake. In the reference, you can see I was trying those houses. They didn't work. I knew I wasn't going to do. There was just a big fence that went almost all the way across the painting, and it wasn't in the photo terribly distracting. In fact, I'll be honest, I didn't exactly notice it, but until I started painting, and I go, no way, I'm painting this fence in here. No way at all. And so I didn't. Now, by the way, so there's several other things going on with this painting. I didn't really know, other than Van Dyke Brown, where I was going to go with it, or the characteristics of Van Dyke Brown exactly. So the gray color you see right now is kind of the Van Dyke Brown with a little bit of white, actually a good amount of white, and some yellow ochre added. And that's giving me kind of a warmish gray in the back. I didn't know until the next day exactly what I was going to do with the foreground. And that's kind of typical of me. I mean, I don't always know exactly what I'm going to do. I have a process that I follow, which is to get a board prepped, and these days to make a simple grid. I'm calling it the M. Francis grid. I'm going to own that. And doing some drawing slash underpainting, working things out. That's a consistent in every painting I do, whether the background color is dark or, there's this middle sort of tone that we get from the masonite. Yeah. By the way, the masonite is prepped. No need to comment that I shouldn't be painting on raw masonite. It looks like raw masonite because I'm prepping it with transparent gesso. Yeah, I use Liquin's brand, but I think Golden also has a good one, so just letting you know. Anyway, we got the sky in. Now I'm putting this little ridge of trees in the back, and I was on pretty firm ground because it's kind of just a darker version of the sky. And like I said, I'm not feeling awesome, but I did do a pretty decent painting, and that's something I talk about a bit in the live video, but here in the condensed version, I know a lot of you won't even find time for the live one, but although you should, really should. It's good even if you're not feeling strong. Now, if you're really depressed and sad or in extreme pain, do not do a painting, because the painting you do will be painful for the most part. There's ways around that, especially if you're a professional like I am. There's ways around it, but I was just not feeling very energetic, and usually I have lots of energy. It's not a problem, but this day, yeah. And I kept going until I really couldn't do any more, but I ended up with not just, I think, a pretty cool painting that I wouldn't have had if I'd just gone home and said, oh, I don't feel like painting today, I don't feel good. I don't feel like painting today, I don't feel good. But I also have the added benefit of having the experience. So even if the painting hadn't turned out great, I still would be adding to that cumulative well of knowledge and experience that you need to have if you want to do good work. And I want to stress that you should be painting every day if you want to be a painter. And really, you could say, oh, well, I work and da-da-da-da-da, yeah. But if we really looked at your schedule and looked at what you were doing, I'm betting you could always carve out an hour to paint every day, or if you can't do that, you could do some drawing or something. But if you want to be good, and what's the point of trying to do something unless you want to be good? Yeah. Anyway, what I'm doing now is next day, and I am basically restating the darks, but I am not going near the black. I was debating that. That was something I didn't know I'd do until I got to it. But I thought, well, let's enjoy this Van Dyke brown. Let's enjoy that color. And it is a beautiful color, and most everything in this painting is pivoting off of that color. Now I'm getting to the portion where I basically decided what color I was going to do with the foreground, whether I wanted to stay with the grays. What I opted to do was to bring in raw sienna and yellow ochre. So this painting consists of white, yellow ochre, raw sienna, and Van Dyke brown, and that is it. No black, no other colors. I didn't even use, say, any burnt sienna or any of that. I wanted to kind of lean on that reddish tone that you get in the raw sienna, and really happy I did. I really think it has a great feel. Now, one thing I will say is that I think to really seal the deal on this painting, one criticism that I would have of it in its current state, which is a state that I think looks good and I'm happy to share with you, is that a quick glaze with, say, I'm thinking the transparent earth yellow from Gamblin, maybe with a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of Indian yellow in it, will just bring this whole thing together. It will lock in. I know this will happen. So I'm definitely going to do it, and that's really almost all I think I really want to do to it. But even if I didn't do that, I think it looks pretty cool. It looks very different for me and from anything I've done. The composition, of course, I can only take some credit for that because of the brilliant pictorialist photo that it's based on. But hey, that guy's dead. I'm alive. I'm making art. If I knew his name, I certainly would give him some credit. And if you know his name, can you do me a favor and let me know in the comments? That has happened in the past when I've done studies after pictorialists. And I know some of you are very, very knowledgeable about stuff. And let's face it, most of my knowledge of art history is really pivoting on what it is I want to do. I'm very selective, I'm not, I don't know. Again, this is what I was talking about, you want to do art, you want to be good, you have so many hours in a day. In my mind, I don't have enough time to do the amount of painting I want to do and specialize in all this other stuff, like I will do a certain amount of research, I will look things up, but I do tend to kind of skate just until I get the thing that I think is going to help me paint better, and then I pretty much move on. But I'm very focused, and we're all very different. You may be, and even if you're not focused like I am, you may have a very different approach, different way of working. You're still going to be doing much better work if you work every day, period. End of sentence. Yeah. Anyway, we're very close to the video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Please like this video if you got this far. It means you do like it. Leave me a comment. I really appreciate the comments so much. Likes are great. Comments are really what floats my boat. You can tip on over to my website. I have some nice things in my store there. They're all priced very affordably, and international shipping is included, as is a guarantee. If you get your painting, you don't like it, let me know. We'll work it out. I'll get it back from you, okay? And that is my favorite way to be supported. But also there is an area on my website. You can click on that, send me a donation. Plenty of people do that, and they are all heroes as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's it for this video. Until I come back with another video, please take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones and friends. Do your best to love your enemies. Be patient with people. You don't always know everything. So be patient with people and take good care. Stay out of trouble.